Hello YouTubers, it's Aria. Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about the 5 things I wish somebody would have told me before I started taking Adderall. So number 1 is that I wish somebody would have made clearer that there is a possibility that when you're on Adderall you will start needing more of it to function and to feel like it's having any effect. So what I mean by this is over time I started to notice that in order for me to be able to get up and to feel alert and awake and be able to concentrate and be able to have the energy to do the things that I need to get done, if I miss a dose or if I don't take it one morning, it's harder for me to wake up, it's harder for me to feel alert, it's harder for me to feel motivated and to concentrate and to pretty much function. I mean, I can function, it's going to be like a sluggish day, and it kind of feels like if you're like an avid coffee drinker and you're drinking it every day, and then when you don't drink coffee for like a day, you feel very like drowsy, sluggish, you're not as sharp as usual. So that's one of the things that I wish somebody would have told me. Number 2 is sort of along the same lines, like your body gets used to having it in your system. So like the longer you are on it, or the longer I've been on it, I've noticed that sometimes the dose that I'm on isn't as effective as it used to be. So I cannot be the only one who's experienced this, but like for example, if I've gotten used to taking that dose, I find that eventually it starts not working as well as it used to. So like for me, usually in the mornings I take 15 milligrams, but sometimes I feel like it starts losing its effect taking those 15 milligrams. If that makes any sense. And I feel like this is one of the things that none of my psychiatrists have really brought up to me before, is that you start getting used to being at that dose and it loses its effect. So either you can kind of play around with it and decide not to take it either on the weekends when you can sleep in, when you don't really need to function. That way your body doesn't become used to it. That over time being on that same dose starts losing its effect. If you're off of it for a couple of days and then you start taking it again, you can feel a difference. So yeah, number 3, how to be comfortable talking about taking this medicine. So what I've experienced is every time I go to the pharmacy, every time I see a new doctor or tell a nurse what medications I'm on, or even when I've gone to the ER, I've always felt a little bit awkward bringing up that I'm on Adderall. I think it's because the stigma that's associated with it. We live in a society where if you are on a controlled substance, my perception that people automatically think that either you're not taking it as needed, you're misusing it. And this can be like with pain medicine, it can be with other controlled substances, but like generally, but I feel like with Adderall, I wish somebody would have told me how to feel comfortable talking to other providers, nurses, new psychiatrists about being on this medication and taking away the stigma of needing to be on this medication. I am still trying to figure out what the best way is to handle the stigma that I feel every time that I call the pharmacist, every time that I need a refill, every time that, I get sent to get, a urine test. The best way to go about it is to be assertive with it. Know your symptoms of what you're like when you're not on it, and be ready to explain that. Because unfortunately, with being on, Adderall, sometimes people are going to make their judgments, and even like medical professionals, they're going to think, well, do you really need it? Think about it, because it could be doing more harm than good. And these medical professionals, they're not you. They're not going through the symptoms that you're going through. So if it's a medication that helps you, then be ready to explain how it helps you. Especially when you're seeing like a new psychiatrist, be ready to explain why you need this medication, how it helps you, and even the repercussions of not being on this medication. And the reason why I say this is because I've had providers who have wanted to change my medications, take me off the medications, and they don't understand. Sometimes they just think, oh, well, it's a controlled substance. I mean, there's an addiction risk to it. You really shouldn't be on it no matter what. And you really need to be assertive in those situations. Yeah. Number 4 of what I wish somebody would have told me with taking Adderall is sometimes this medication makes you feel very off. I've had times where it does make me more alert, able to concentrate on things, but at the same time, sometimes it makes me super sleepy. Sometimes it actually makes me kind of not be able to think as much, and just calms me down. Adderall is one of the medications that I've noticed helps me a lot with my anxiety. Maybe because I'm actually able to just concentrate on one thing versus all of these thousands of other things that I have going on in my head, but it grounds me. And it helps me with my anxiety. It really does. Whereas people that don't have ADHD, people who use it but don't have ADHD, they might get that energetic kick from it. But people that have ADHD, it's not uncommon for them to feel grounded, more calm, more relaxed. And that's something that your provider might tell you, but it actually is the truth. I've taken Adderall sometimes where I felt like I could actually just take a nap and it doesn't wake me up, and some days it works differently than others. The last thing I wish somebody would have told me about Adderall is, well, it's worked better for me on an empty stomach rather than if I eat something with it. I really don't get any GI upset from Adderall. So sometimes I can just take it on an empty stomach and don't mix it with any acidic foods because you will get nausea. Okay, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like the video, and also click on the bell to get notifications on when I upload. Okay, thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.